Hey guys, welcome back. My name's Stu, and this is part 2 of my Isle Union playthrough for Rollercoaster Tycoon Classic. Isle Union is it the 18th or 19th scenario in the VJ scenario pack? Could even be the 17th. I can't keep track of them. So, at the end of part 1, I realized that the video is going to be far too long if I keep doing it in one whole go. So I've chopped it up, or I will be chopping it up into little bits. Whilst I was doing the outro, I noticed that my rating has tanked. So before I do a recap of what we did on part 1, let's see if we can work out. There you go, 145. I'm wondering if they're stuck, or let's have a look. Why is there so many people complaining? Okay, what's happening here? I can't find the park exit. Can't. Oh, hang on. Someone's done a boo-boo. Right, okay, so what I did was I connected these up as a way of sharing the exits, but clearly I forgot to give them an exit back to the main path. So what we're going to see now, I imagine, is a lot of people leaving the park. Luckily, there is an exit here. Okay, so that's not great. I think what we'll do is we've got one water ride down. Let's put a couple more. We are, well, I'm not saying we are, but we could possibly require the use of awards in this. I mean, we might not need them, but they will be handy. So in order to be to qualify for best water rides, you need 6 water rides. So we've got 4 already unlocked. I've got 1 down, the jet skis. So if I just build one of these, that didn't give me any time at all. It just came straight out there with guests can't get to the exit or entrance of boring ride 1. Of course, we need to connect the exit up. Otherwise, they'll fall into the water and drown. Okay, so as you can see, my guest numbers have dropped from 800 down. So let's have a look. Guests in park have dropped. But if we look at the park rating, that's shot back up. I won't bother changing them. I don't think it really matters on these little water rides. And what else have we got? Trikes. No one really seems to want to ride my jet skis. Have to move. I'll move the entrance because otherwise I won't be able to get that back. I will be building some roller coasters, don't worry. I'm pretty sure that's what people really want to see. But first and foremost, I need to make sure that I'm going to pass the park. Past the park goal. Okay, that path's working well, as it should be. Rating is back up. Guests are back up. These rides are quite cheap as well, because one thing I am gonna, when I say I am gonna start building coasters, I promise I will. But obviously coasters are expensive. I know we've got a loan, but if we don't need to borrow it, if we don't need to borrow with the loan, then we won't use it. Okay, so we've got, when we put another one just here. Some point later, no doubt we'll unlock some of the cooler rides, some of the cooler water rides, like, I don't know, maybe a river rapids or log flume or splash boats or something like that, or a water coaster. So at the moment we only need 2 more water rides to make us eligible for that award. I could double up, but I'm not going to. Let's see. Got that. What else? Nothing really I want to put in there. Got the green arrow. So the guest numbers are going up. What am I researching? Let's recap. I am researching shops. Okay, let's do a full recap then. So we came in, we've got 3 entrances on the park. So as you're looking at it now, one on the west side, one on the south side, and one on the east side, which doesn't really make sense because the directions aren't there, but you can see them going off the side of the park. So what I did was I connected up some of the paths where I thought there were dead ends to nowhere. And then what I've done is I've just put down some kiosks, toilets, and maybe an ATM on the major junctions, like that. The kiosks were set to £20 umbrellas, so that'll give me a ton of cash when it rains. And I like to put a toilet next to a kiosk because it means that we've got a massive supply of toilets in the park, and it'll make us eligible for best toilets once you've got 4 toilets, and then it's a ratio. And we have won that at some point. Got no awards on the go at the moment. Here you go. We had an award. There you go. Best toilets. What else have we had? That's it so far. So they do give you a nice boost of guests. There's no one on the Virginia Reel, so I'm guessing it's because it's too expensive. So we have been making a lot of money off that, at £10 a go. So I'm going to drop it down to 5. We could probably get away with 7. But if I lower it down to 7 and they pay that, I'm only going to have to lower it again at a later date. So we need 2,800 guests by the end of year 5. So we do have our work cut out for us. So what I've been doing primarily for year 1 is putting down flat rides because they're cheap, they're quick to build, and they help bring guests in. So one thing I do a lot is I'll put down flat rides to begin with, because if I start building a lot of coasters, I'm not going to have a lot of guests to go on the rides or go on the coasters. Whereas if I put down flat rides first, as I said, they're cheap, quick, and bring in the guests. So when I do start building the coasters, I've got a lot of guests in the park. So it's starting to rain now. So once I've done this, now I'll have a look at the shop sales, and then we can see just how much we're making from those umbrella sales. Put it 3. Oh, hang on. Oh, that should be fine. That should be fine. Yeah, there you go. I switched it on without testing it. And you never know. If you put them too fast, they will fly off. Let's check out the finances. Shop sales. There you go. So last month, £24. This month, 1,500. Yeah, so I do promise I will build roller coasters, but for now, I just want to make sure that I've got the guest numbers ticking in the right direction. £2. Now, one thing I believe I mentioned in the first part is that what I'll probably do sometime later in the game is reduce the price of the flat rides down. Let's have a look. So if we look at the profit, there you go. The Enterprise is the most profitable at the moment. Whirlpool, that's the Virginia Reel, is the second. Now, when it was new, that was way up there, probably about, I don't know, what was it, about 14,000? Whereas all the others were quite low. So it was making more from the coaster than everything else put together. So what I'll do is once I've got a few coasters down, I'll probably start reducing the prices on them. Eventually, I'll probably make them free. That way, then it helps retain the guests that are in the park that are running out of cash. Right then, 3,000. I've probably not got enough to build a Hyper Twister just yet without borrowing. Let's do a simple wooden wild mine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So one thing I usually do is raise the platform up 2 tiles. That's so I can tuck a path underneath and get a cheeky little bonus. What I'll do though, nice long path. I do like to make sure I've got the paths and the buildings done first. I just find it easier to wrap the track around the paths rather than the paths around the track. I don't know, what can we call it? Sea mine. Okay, so 60, we'll drop it down. Nice bit of symmetry there. Okay, maybe not. That's a shame. Ah, it was. So I did something wrong. And then we won't be able to go back up as high. 40 should be fine. If I'm going to do a straight bit, I might as well put as another station platform in, because I might get an extra car out of it. You never know. That looks pretty cool when they both drop in at the same time. There's no real way of synchronizing it on a coaster like this. You're either going to get lucky or you're not. So that worked out well. Let's open it up. I don't know if we're going to have time really to do. We should have time. We got 5 years. We're going to have loads of time. We'll have time to do simple scenery, nothing complex. Put some blocks underneath. Nope. I said underneath. No, can't do it. Okay. Didn't want to do it anyway. I was only pretending. Do some little fences. Gonna get some more of that sweet umbrella cash. Delete all the random bits of fence that have gone all over the place. And then what we can do now is let's paint the ground. Money's starting to build back up. I know I'm spending it on scenery, but I'm not spending it a lot on scenery, or not spending much on scenery. Still loads of litter around the place. I'll have to zone them at some point. It's just such a massive park. Do you know, probably bins might help. One thing I very rarely build bins, because usually the parks aren't that big, and I've usually got so many handy persons that I don't really need the bins. And if you haven't got bins, you can't vandalize them. Okay, 3,000 guests in the park. Oh, sorry, 3,000 cash, 1,000 guests in the park. What are we unlocking? Oh, a balloon stall. That'll get us the cash. Right, so I wanted that facing the main path. I do sometimes have them just facing the exit path, but let's change the color of that. Otherwise, we're going to have so many blue balloons. Put it there. That's blue as well. Oh. Builds 2 coasters, both of them blue. Well, how about dark blue? Okay, that's enough for now. 3,500. Let's look at another coaster type. Do you know what? I think we can do a simple, fairly cheap hypercoaster. Ooh, so we've already got toilets, so that's probably the posh toilets, the wooden toilets. We could even do 2 hypercoasters. No, I'll just do 1. We'll call this one Flotsam, because it's a water-based park, so we've got to call it Flotsam, which means there's an easy name for another ride coming up. Let's crank it all the way up to 10. It's going to be a non-hyper coaster. See, I like the diagonal, but I don't want it to go too far out to sea. But I guess it's happening. Let's just borrow some money just to get it finished. Two trains, that's all we'll need. Won't need any more than that. There's that little lag again. Almost 7 starts. I'm sure once we chuck a few walls down or whatever, that'll be over 7 easily. Guest complaining about litter again. Oh. Ah, wrong one. So broken the queue line there. At some point it will work. And they will get on the ride. I know it's looking a little bit garish at the moment, but I reckon I can salvage it. £3, why not? Right. Okay, so just having that long roof does look a little bit bland. So if we get rid of that and then get it to line up. Maybe it's a bit big. Do you know what? I'm going to keep it. I'll keep it as it is, but it's still a bit garish, and I did promise I'm going to save it. Maybe not save it as in make it look good, but save it from by making it look less garish. No, that's on the wrong. Right, what kind of fence can we have? We could just go for the boring kind. Come on. And how about I mean, you can't argue that it's less garish than it was. And that's what I promised would happen. It certainly is less garish. I'd even go as far as saying it's 100% less garish. It's like a junior. Oh, you go. Look at that. See those little blocks and things? I've given it a whopping 0.25 worth of bonus excitement. I'm sure if we toggle the speed, it might even give it a little bit more when we check back on it. So, okay, so we got almost 1,300 guests. The rating isn't great. Tons of 6. So now we've got lots of cash coming in. Let's check what the profit's like. Oh, wow, look at that. Look at that. 52 big ones. So what we're going to do is we're going to use some of that cash. We're going to give it back. We're going to pay it forward, whatever the term is. We're going to give back to the community. We're going to create jobs, you know, and in turn, those jobs are taxation, and these workers will also, you know, spend money in the community and things like that, you know. So I'm benevolent. A benevolent tycoon. Right, so I think yeah, I think I'm just going to hire a few more mechanics. What's your research on? It's still on shops. I think we need to go on to roller coasters now, because seeing that profit, that's a bit of a wake-up call. So obviously I've just built 2 rides. One's the Wild Mine and one's the Junior Hypercoaster, if there is such a thing. I mean, there is now. It definitely needs a maximum waiting time, because those people have been waiting for ages. I mean, not that they probably mind. They're probably thankful for the extra time that I'm giving them on this amazing coaster. But the sooner we get them off the ride, the sooner they can go back on it. So let's see how many of them do go on it again. I've got no way of knowing which ones are which, so I'm going to guess some. Right. Right, let's have a look then. What about one of these? They're always quick to build. Will that cause too many lateral Gs? Who knows? But I guess it'll be fun finding out. So dropping down from 30. And it's the same height. Okay. So that got me absolutely nowhere. Right. If I got rid of the shop, I'm just worried about the height of that. So let me just get rid of this shop. And then we'll add it back. Right. Let me just get rid of the shop and the exit and then add them back. No. Although at least now, yep, just checking this in line, and then we can do a quick break. Doing on-ride photo section there. 2 trains, that's more than enough. £10 a go. How are we doing for time? 3rd of October. Okay, 1,300 guests. We need 2,800. We did lose quite a few due to some noobish behavior at the end of the first part, beginning of the second part. So that's fine. We're more or less on track, I think. Kind of made a rod for my own back now with the decorating. Probably could have justified not doing any, because it's a relatively high guest goal. But there are ways of making it easy. Okay, so it's coming up to the end of the and it would start raining, wouldn't it? Okay, so I won't bother doing the outro just yet. Let's just finish this off. Something simple. Okay, and the sun's out. Well, I've come this far, I might as well plonk a few more bits down on it. Right, let me just save this here. And in that way, what I can do is I can do the outro. Then if we go into March, I can reload it back up and we won't lose any time. Anyway, this was part 2 of Isle Union. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe. Stay tuned. I'll see you on part 3. Bye.